What is up, Nickel City Mafia? Welcome to Friday Night Happy Hour. You might be saying, Mike, you're all by yourself. Where's Jake? Well, my co-host is off breaking Guinness Book of Records. I mean, I think he's going to be in his 12th wedding this weekend in the last 6 months, something crazy like that. I'm probably exaggerating just a tad. He's having a great time this weekend. We will see him Sunday night on our Bills Sunday Night Talk Show. But I wanted to get back to you. First of all, I am all alone this Friday night. I got to take advantage of this. The wife is out of town. My kids are busy right now. And I am so anxious about football starting tomorrow. So I have to talk about it. And I feel like we left some things off the table Wednesday. We were a little pressed for time. We didn't get through everything we wanted to. But I'm going to talk about those extra things that we didn't talk about Wednesday. Because first of all, we didn't know about this information. We're going to talk about Anthony Richardson being announced that he's going to start against the Buffalo Bills. If you don't know who Anthony Richardson is, he was the 4th overall pick in the draft, quarterback. Just a athletic freak. I'm telling you, 6'4", 230, runs a 4.4, and can throw the ball a mile. Think of him as like a Cam Newton, who can run like Lamar Jackson and has the arm of a Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes. But the difference is his accuracy isn't quite there. I think he was a little over 50%. It was his first year starting last year in college for Florida. And again, the completion percentage is what's worrisome there. So this is a huge gamble. A lot of people were like, do you take him in the first round because of his athleticism, or do you wait? And they did not wait. They took him. Now, the Colts are coming off a bad year. I mean, Jonathan Taylor was injured. They were 4-12-1 after a season where they almost made the playoffs. If they had won in 2021, all they needed to do was win their last game. They were in the playoffs, but Jacksonville prevented that from happening. So bad year last year. Here they are, and Taylor's back, healthy. And this team needs him because they're going to depend on that run game. I mean, we saw the Colts come into Buffalo a few years back and just run it down our throats. And that's really what they need to do to be a productive team, especially with a rookie quarterback, because all signs are pointing that Anthony Richardson will be their starter. And why not? If you're going to roll the dice and you're going to pick someone with the 4th overall pick in the 2023 draft, you might as well. And again, it's a boom or bust, in my opinion. We'll see. But this kid is gifted. So I'm super excited about that, playing against the Bills. And also, I heard today, we didn't know this on Wednesday night, McDermott said that many of the first teamers are going to be playing. Other than Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, those are the only two that have been ruled out, which excites me because on Wednesday's show, we were like, not many of the first teamers are going to be out there. So it's a whole different game now, right? So not only are we going against their starting quarterback, a young kid who can be a future star in this league, if he's able to improve that accuracy, which, I mean, look, what was the knock on Josh coming out? Not a very accurate quarterback. And I'm going to go way back to the early days of Jim Kelly. Same thing when he came out of college, accuracy wasn't there. So if they can work with him, and I guess he's been looking really good in camp, Anthony Richardson, that is, I mean, this is going to be awesome to watch him tomorrow go against our first teamers on defense. And before I get into more details, I just want to say something. Something fun happened today in Buffalo, and I hope somebody can hook me up with this set here from Fisher-Price. Now, let me get the official name of this. This is a released by Fisher-Price, and they're called the Little People Collector Buffalo Bills figure set. I mean, you got Dawson Knox, Josh Allen, Von Miller, and a Buffalo Bills superfan. If anyone has an extra set of these, please let me know. I will buy them off of you. I need to get one of these and put it in the backdrop here. I guess the line at Wegmans was super long for these, and why wouldn't they be? I mean, look at those. Those are so cool. I want one of them. Look at me, acting like a little kid. Yes, I am a kid at heart. I want to also say, so tomorrow is also Kids Day, which is cool. So Fisher-Price is hosting the junior tailgate outside the stadium on Kids Day. I mean, come on now. And I know a couple of our friends of the channel are taking their kids there tomorrow. It's just going to be a fantastic day. And Now that I know that we're going to see some first teamers, I am super excited. I'm also excited to see them go against the first. I would imagine if Anthony Richardson is starting, that we're going to see the first teamers on the offensive side of the Colts as well. And that line, that offensive line is fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong. They have some issues at right guard. But interesting thing about the Colts is all 5 of their starters are homegrown. These are guys that they drafted. And let me just go through it real quick. I'm going to bring up a tool that I use called PFF. Most of you know this if you watch our shows. But let me just go over their offensive line and kind of tell you where they were drafted. So they got Braden Smith on right tackle. Very, very good player. He was drafted in 2018, round 2, 37th overall, and he's been a stud. And the right guard, that's kind of where they're struggling a little bit. They got Will Fries. He was a 7th round pick, so you can kind of understand why that might be the weakest link on the team. 250 overall. Right now, he's slotted in as the starter, but who knows? Things can change if he doesn't improve what he did last year. At center, they have Ryan Kelly, who was a 1st round pick, 18th overall in 2016 by the Colts. And then in left guard, they have Quentin Nelson, who was another 1st rounder in 2018, 6th overall. I mean, look at this line. I mean, 1st rounders, 2nd rounders, come on now. And then at the left tackle spot, Bernard Rahman. I hope I'm saying his name right, but another fantastic tackle. So that offensive line is built for Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor had a monster year a couple years ago, and they're going to need him again. And, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to, give Anthony Richardson time to adjust to the NFL. They're going to probably keep the playbook pretty simple for him. And I expect the Colts to have a much better year this year as long as Jonathan Taylor stays healthy. Their defense, middle of the pack, not the greatest. But again, you run the ball, you take time off the clock, you will be competitive. And kind of what we saw a couple years ago with them. Look at this. I still got the little people on the screen here. But how cool is that? I want that setup. Let me switch over here. So back to the game. Now that we know some first teamers are playing for both the Colts and the Bills, I am super excited to see how our defense matches up against their offense. Vice versa as well. I'm sure I'm excited to see how our offense does now that I know some first teamers are in there. I'm expecting Kyle Allen to get the start. He'll be playing with the first teamers. So that's going to be kind of good to see because all we've been hearing through training camp is how bad our backup quarterbacks are. Matt Barkley and Kyle Allen just have looked lost, I guess, mostly Kyle Allen. So we're going to get to see him, and that can change. I mean, this guy's learning a new playbook, and he hasn't probably had a lot of reps with the first teamers, and now he will. So now we'll see him in action tomorrow. I would expect him to probably play the first half, maybe Matt Barkley in the second half. But I guess what I'm most excited about, let's talk about some of the battles. The first battle is our cornerback 2. Cornerback 2 is Benford, Dane Jackson, and Kaiir Elam, our first-round draft choice last year. It's an open battle right now. All 3 of them are in it, and we're going to get to see kind of, does anyone take a lead tomorrow? I mean, and these 3 games are really going to decide. And I'd imagine the Bills have a pretty good idea, but they haven't tipped their cap yet. So it's a good situation to have. You have 3 guys competing for a starting spot. That's how close it is. Great depth right there. And it feels like Benford has the slight edge from what we're hearing out of camp. But, Kaiir Elam, first-round draft choice last year, big, physical, speedy. I'd love to see him there. But if Benford wins it, because Benford looked good last year until he got hurt. He started last year. He was the starter opening day, which is incredible. And he just continues to have good press. I mean, there was 2 days, I guess, where within 2 days of practice, he had 3 interceptions. So that's how you make a name for yourself. That's how you get yourself in the mix for a starting position. Now, Dane Jackson isn't going away either. I mean, the guy's fighting hard for a starting position. And, of course, he's the most familiar with McDermott's defense. He's been there the longest. and he's done a fantastic job, almost like a Levi Wallace. Everyone was always down on Levi. Everyone was always trying to have Levi replaced, but year after year, Levi would get the starting job. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, but we shall see. Also, on the defensive side, is our middle linebacker situation. Now, we had heard that it was Dotson and Bernard that were fighting for that middle linebacker. However, Bernard came up with a hamstring injury, and he will not be playing. And that's a little bit concerning because if you look back at Bernard's history, even in college, he's injured a lot. So it's not a good sign right there. Now that puts Dotson in the driver's seat. Balin Spector now may get some play, and I expect him to now that Bernard is out. So Balin Spector could jump back in the picture if he has a fantastic outing tomorrow. Then on the offensive side of the ball, I didn't think Cook would play. Now that McDermott's saying some of our first teamers, or many of our first teamers will. And again, when I say they're going to play, it might just be for a series or two. But I'm interested to see if Cook gets out there. We know Damian Harris will not. He's been dinged up. He's day-to-day. We may see a lot of Latavius Murray, who's just been getting fantastic press as well in his training camp. Murray's up there in age, but he's a big running back. He's got good speed, really good hands, and he complements Cook extremely well. So I'm excited to see that. I wish we could see Damian Harris tomorrow, but obviously with that injury, don't know when we're going to see him right now. But, on the offensive side of the ball, we want to see, I'm curious now, does Dalton Kincaid get out there? And I think we might see him tomorrow. So that's exciting for me. I didn't think, our first round overall pick, I didn't know if they'd be playing him tomorrow, but absolutely, I'm pretty convinced he's going to play. And then I want to see, that those slot receivers, Khalil Shakir, Deontay Hardy, they seem to be competing for that slot position. I want to see some Trent Sherfield. I want to see some Justin Shorter, big physical fifth rounder that we drafted, 6'4", 220, runs a 4.5. Oh my goodness, I love it. Now knowing that we have first teamers that are going to be playing tomorrow, and again, so it'll probably be the first quarter. After the first quarter will be the second and third stringers. But still, those are guys that are fighting to make this roster. So keep an eye on those. Also on the offensive side of the ball, we got Osiris Torrance going against Bates. Now, right now on the unofficial depth chart, and people are going crazy because they saw that Bates is slotted as the starter right now. And he should be, right? I mean, he is the veteran. He is familiar. Josh is familiar with him. Out of camp, it's been Torrance is fantastic at run blocking, struggled a little bit in pass blocking. But, you just don't know. Until we see it on the field, we just don't know if these reporters have it out for him or whatever they're seeing. Maybe they're not understanding all that's going on. But now we finally get to see it. So that's another battle, and it's going to be fun to watch tomorrow because Torrance is going to be playing next to some of those starters. So let's go. In the comments below, tell me what you are most interested in seeing tomorrow. Tell me who you think is going to win those battles that I talked about. And are there other battles that I didn't mention that you're aware of? So love to hear from you in the channel. By the way, we've been talking about it. We're almost there. On August 20th, we're going to be giving away 2 Madden 24 games. And all you got to do to get into this contest is leave a comment. Just put a sentence in the comments with the word Madden in it. You can just put Madden, but get creative. We've seen some creative ones coming from the folks, and we greatly appreciate it. So, hey, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and drop a nickel on that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. And it helps get our videos, our shows into the YouTube algorithm, pushes it out there for more views, and allows us to do these fun giveaways. Jake and I have always been big on giving back to you folks that support us. We really, really appreciate you. So this is kind of new. I don't do many of these by myself, but I had to do something today. Let's go. See you soon. Go Bills.